Isn't he dusty? Isn't he full of dust? Isn't he ashy? One that you cannot trust.
If you're old enough to remember Michael Jordan playing in the 1997 finals, congratulations, you're an old head. But in said finals in Game 5, he played the alleged flu game, which appears to be a game where he was food poisoned. He scored 38 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. But more importantly than that, it's a testament to the willpower of a man to perform for his team when he deems it necessary, even if his body is just not up to the task. And unfortunately, this is a kind of masculinity, I think, that is alien to a growing number of young ladies, especially in the West.
Hi, Sensei Crystal here at Martial Way Dojo.
If women leveled up, the majority of males would not make it. In order for two people to have flourishing partnership between, the woman needs to be a whole individual, and so does he. But men do not want to do the work that's required to become a whole individual. They typically use women to get where they want to get.
We seem to be in an era now where the definition of masculinity is a man who has all of the advantages because he is a man in a world that gives men all of the advantages. He simply goes into the world and performs at a high level to the point where he becomes a high value man. And then when he does that, it is essentially his duty as a man to freely give those resources to a woman. And in this kind of polarized world, it's defining masculinity in a way for younger generations of young ladies that is very different from the flu game masculinity of Michael Jordan.
And then I can put them anywhere I want. Both back here, I can put them both forward, knock them into each other. But we'll be nice, do one back and one forward.
The sprinkle movement, or the movement of hypergamy, or the notion that women should be receiving something from men that is tangible, that tangibly improves their lives, because we were conditioned, men and women were conditioned differently when it comes to approaching relationships, and that was for a very distinctive purpose that serves the patriarchy and serves men.
When I think of defining masculinity, one of the first words that comes to my head is code.
A man must have a code.
Even for the most vicious of men, if there is a code, you can see virtuous behavior because men respect the fact that other men will make men pay consequences. Unfortunately, in today's mediascape, there is really no code. And what we're seeing is, in a way, some kind of warfare, if you will, where young ladies are playing this game with each other where they're telling each other things that maybe they believe and maybe they don't. One of them being that any version of femininity before, say, 1960 is soft and dainty and it was taken advantage of. And if you're a young lady, you should not be that kind of feminine because it's not going to work. Instead, you should aim to be more masculine. But the real truth is, how much can you believe any of it?
They find things to compliment me on: my hair, my skin, my body, my smile, my personality, whatever it is. Like, they like the way I laugh. Some man told me he loved the way I laugh. I hear these things on a regular basis.
So I'm noticing that more and more women are choosing abstinence and celibacy. And at this point, I definitely understand why.
And before you judge me in my work clothes, this is how I look outside of my work clothes.
Like, between the situationships, the men not wanting to commit, the men not wanting to be honest, the down low men, and these married single men, I get it.
Now, I said all that to say this. I don't care about those compliments. The best compliments come from women anyways. I care about women's compliments more than I care for men, because I know men's compliments are usually very disingenuous.
I feel like I have really truly made the decision to work on myself and to be by myself while I'm in this transition period. Like, I feel like I'm in a weird transition period, but I've accepted it.
The best compliment as a man that you could ever give me is, nah, she ain't wifey material. I can't think of a compliment better than that.
And I feel like now is the time for me to really just focus on myself and not think about dating. I feel like I have goals and I have things that I want to do first before I actually date, because I really do want to date with a purpose.
The reason why I say that is because this. I know that most men don't marry for love. Most men marry for convenience. We know this because the moment things become inconvenient in their marriage, or their relationship, they are ready to cheat, or they are ready to just leave altogether.
Men are energy vampires. They can't rely on their own energy to live. This is why they believe women are miserable being alone. Men don't understand when a woman is alone. She experiences her greatest power.
For men watching these kinds of messages, it's normal for us to have a desire to push back, to say, no, that's not true. You're misrepresenting us. But I think if you look at it closer, under the veneer of disliking men and masculinity being toxic, there's something underneath it that's saying something deeper, particularly in this particular TikTok.
You're telling me in 2024, women still are not able to go home and take off of work during their menstrual cycles. Why is this not a thing? I don't understand it, because I have really painful periods. I know that I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of women, and I still have taken things for it. Like, it doesn't fix it, but it is a really awkward situation trying to go to your managers, especially me working in a male-dominated industry, saying like, hey, I can't stand up right now because my cramps are killing me and I really just want to cry. Can I please go home for the day? I know that seems easier said than done, but it's really not, because men don't get it. And I understand why they don't, because they have never gone through it and they never will. And I think it's just like, oh, just a silly little thing. Like, oh, you're just getting your period. Like, no, it hurts and I want to cry and I'm breaking out and I feel ugly and I feel fat.
Modern women are being challenged from two different sides. On the one side, they're being told that their femininity itself is a form of weakness. The true power of their femininity is in their sexuality and ability to use it to extract resources. On the other end, they're told to be strong and independent, to act, date, and seek career and life outcomes that mirror those of men. It is almost as if young ladies are being told that if indeed they are dealing with any modicum of unhappiness in the modern day discourse, there's only one place to blame.
You're black, you're poor, you're ugly, you a woman.
When I look at the mountain of media that's tailored toward young ladies, there seems to be a lot of money to be made, if you will, by telling young ladies that their mere existence on a daily basis is the flu game. But what I see instead of that, especially from many of the reactions, is that there are a lot of young ladies that are looking for something. They're looking for not just direction, but they're looking for a place where they can be soft. And that's where the flu game really comes in. Because for men, the ability to perform like this on a day when we're sick and we don't want to go to work, that idea that a man will go to work and do what's necessary to take care of a wife and children on a day when he's sick, that is something that men dream of. When we watch the flu game, we see ourselves going through the motions, doing what we have to do for our Team Red family when we don't feel like it. And I think that that energy is something that many modern women have not either had the opportunity to experience, or quite frankly, they've never seen it before. Maybe because they grew up away from their father, or they just have been told that that is to be expected as baseline, bare minimum male energy. And now we have a world where we see more and more men withdrawing that energy. And what I see in social media quite often is not necessarily young ladies that believe in this message that they're saying that men are a certain way and they need to be held at arm's length. What instead I see are young ladies that are missing, and better yet, desiring that energy. And they're not humble enough to admit it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. Catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.